Everybody, welcome to the Jim Masters Show, Entertainment, Lifestyle, Celebrity Talk Show series. Jim Masters here in the host chair, reporting for duty here in the New York area in the United States. Great to have you with us wherever you're watching all around the world. We always enjoy all the comments and all the likes and all the support and sharing of our series here, where we're bringing back that lost art of conversation with celebrity friends and guests who come in from literally all across the globe, all across here in America, our friends to the north in Canada, all throughout North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, for viewers and guests. And it really is amazing. Speaking of that, right now, we're going to take you to the Emerald Isle. You know, we've had a lot of great Irish artists who've come through here on the Jim Masters Show series. Many I've interviewed on PBS and other networks and locations on air, on radio and television. And we are introducing two fantastically talented singers and songwriters and musicians coming to us from Ireland. And they're going to entertain you. And we're going to have a good time and lots of great conversation. Here they are. We're talking about Irish singers extraordinaire and songwriters, Johnny Brady, Nigel Connell, and they are waiting on the other side. Now, we played with that promo because they are waiting on the other side of the big pond. They're in Ireland. But that ties into a great new album, great new music they have coming out. And there it is on the screen for you. We're going to tell you how you can get it. Both of them individually as well as collectively are brilliant artists, truly. Let me tell you first about Nigel, and then we're going to welcome them here on the show. We welcome you. Tell your friends we're on, everybody. Call them up, ring them up, text them, Facebook them, whatever it may be. Let them know. Tune into the show right now. We've got some great conversation coming your way. First, I want to introduce Nigel, tell you a little bit about him. Singer, songwriter, and he is, of course, from Ireland. Music is in his DNA. His parents had a band, and he started performing when he was 15 years old. He has achieved much in his musical career to now. Once drummer for Daniel O'Donnell. Of course, you know Daniel O'Donnell has had many specials here on American television, on PBS and elsewhere. And he's just really a beloved artist. And what's really amazing about Nigel is he was the drummer for a number of years with Daniel O'Donnell. And again, PBS specials galore. Also, in addition to all of that, he played the lead role in Irish the Musical and released his album, Nothing Left to Say. And in 2016, had a big impact when he reached the final of The Voice of Ireland. Yes, that version. Now, you know, we've had several of the contestants, finalists, winners. We had Wendy Moten on recently, and she was on The Voice, NBC's The Voice here in America. We had Eugene Landau Murphy Jr. just a couple of days ago who won the American Voice. We've had people who have joined us from America's Got Talent and all of these shows. Well, yes, Nigel participated in Ireland's version of The Voice. Yeah, a lot of talent, I tell you, in Ireland. Damien McGinty, of course, recently, who's been on our show multiple times, was in Dancing with the Stars in Ireland. A lot of talent in We Irish. Tell you a little bit more about his incredible background. It really is quite extensive, folks. One of the musical talents that, really flies someone under the radar as a solo artist, yet he can get on stage and sing classical with an orchestra, rock the house down with a band, and is a natural with country numbers too. And his vocal talents shine when you hear him sing, as his own creations are in acoustic sessions, oftentimes telling the story behind the lyrics. His voice is powerful as well. And he's carving out his own route with his attitude and approach to the industry, being similar to that of the many different incredible idols like Foy Vance. And in terms of the big voice, well, he's got it. And he teamed up again with Johnny Brady for this great music we're going to tell you about in just a second. Now, Johnny himself is another brilliant talent. And Johnny has been doing this for a long time as well. And we're excited to have Johnny with us. Let me tell you just a little bit about Johnny for those of you who might be around the world, learning about these guys, even though they've been doing this for years, learning about them for the first time. Johnny has one of the most distinctive voices in modern country music, known for his powerful vocals, energetic performances, and charismatic personality. Johnny has a unique sound and is continually pushing the boundaries in a new generation of Irish country music. And he has been touring extensively throughout Ireland and the UK over the past 5 years, and he's built a reputation for having one of the finest dance bands on the Irish country music scene. He's also famous for turning it up a notch, drawing on his many rock and pop influences, making him a man in demand on the festival circuit. He's recorded 4 albums to date, each one a true testament to his diversity as an artist, showcasing his passion for songwriting, his ability to resurrect old classic country songs and make them his own. And 2 years ago, he signed a publishing deal with Bartis Music, who recognized his songwriting ability. And as a result, Johnny has made numerous trips to Nashville to both write and record his songs. And he's pitched to some of the world's biggest country stars, too. And he's a multi-award-winning artist, regularly featured on national TV shows, busy touring, recording schedule, family man at heart, always taking time to spend time with his wife and children as well, which is always a beautiful thing. So again, Johnny's been doing this for a long time, and the two, they have teamed up with some great music, and we're so excited to have them here on the show. So with that said, let's welcome the lads to our show right now for the first time and not the last, Nigel Connell and Johnny Brady. Hey, gang, thanks for joining us on the show. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Hey, Jim. Hey, Jim. So cool to be here. How are you going, man?
Hi. We are doing well. We are doing well. It's so good to have you guys here. Of course, we're here in the States. And tell us where you guys are in Ireland right now.
Johnny, you go first.
I'm up in the Glens of Antrim, which is Northern Ireland, up, I suppose, not too far away from Ballycastle, which if anybody comes here as a tourist, they would probably go to like the Giant's Causeway and places like that. So it's the Glens of Antrim in Northern Ireland. So it's awesome.
Very nice, beautiful, beautiful area, and a lot of great artists have hailed from that area as well. And Nigel, you're in Ireland now, but you are heading on a plane over to Germany soon, right?
Yeah, I'm actually in County Meath at the moment, which is close to Dublin on the east side of Ireland. And tomorrow I'll be flying back to the center point of Germany. Turingen is the county I'm living in. And yeah, so I have the best of both worlds.
So have you guys known each other for a long time and then wanted to put this music together? How did you link up and collaborate? How did that friendship and this musical relationship develop?
I think, yeah, you fire away, Johnny.
Yeah, you go, Nige, because you tell it so much better than I do. You tell the story. I love to listen to you telling it, man. You tell it.
These guys are real gentlemen.
I know it's we've been very, very lucky to kind of know each other for a long time, but we've never got to meet until I think it was around 2000 and maybe 13 or 14. We got to chat to each other, and then in 2018 we were put together with this super group of musicians doing a tribute, a celebration we like to call it here, to the Eagles, and that's when myself and Johnny started to talk to each other, and really we got on so well, and we had so much in common. Both of us come from like rock vocals and singing in bars to now performing on the massive big stages. But our passion, I suppose, for American country music, our passion for Irish music, and then our passion for singing and songwriting was we were so in common that one night before a sound check, we decided to sit down and write a song together, and we wrote Waiting on the Other Side in the space of maybe 30 minutes. And it wasn't completely finished, but it was almost there, and we realized then, wow, we are actually seem to be getting on even better than we thought we were. And Johnny is just one of these guys that I can call up at any time if I have any problems or if something's bothering me, not even in the music business, but he's just a friend, and he's there for me. And when he said he's going to do something, this guy puts his mind down to it, and he just does it. He's a great guy. Love you, man.
That's fantastic. Johnny, how do you follow that up?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that's what I thought. So this guy just, I don't know. Yeah, you can't follow this man. He's just an awesome guy. But like Nigel said, you know, I had known of Nigel. You know, everybody knows Nigel because he's such a powerhouse of an amazing singer and a talented guy. And you know, he's been playing in so many different bands, and just everybody looks up to him a lot. And I'm one of those people. As a vocalist, I just love to listen to this thing. Even my wife here, she's just like the biggest Nigel fan in the world. And yeah, I've been to see Nigel in so many different scenarios where he's singing all different styles of music. Like for his introduction, it was pretty on point there, I have to say. And he can just do everything. And then when I got to meet him, you know, we got on so well. He's such a cool guy. And we hung out a lot, and when we tour, we sometimes room together when we room in twos, and we got passion for songwriting, we've got passion for musicians, passion for music. Just I heard a great quote the other day, and I know a lot of people are into content now and all this kind of thing, but I think when Nigel were just like so into making music and just into, I think it's in our soul, you know. Everyone, I don't know if that sounds a bit cheesy, but I do believe that, and I think we're kindred spirits in a lot of way. And likewise, if I had something that I wanted to run, maybe a song or even not even music, as Nigel said, I could run it past Nigel because we've become great friends. And I think that's a special thing to get that. You don't always get that. You get a lot of good friends out there, but sometimes you meet people that are a little bit more special, you know. And I think with, as Nigel said, we were so lucky to get involved in the Take It to the Limit, where we're celebrating music of the Eagles and bands that we, you know, just that we absolutely love. So whenever we go on stage every night, we're like sort of in the happiest place in the world type of thing. And it's been awesome for me at this stage in my career to hang out with that Nigel and learn from him as well, and just hang out with the rest of the guys too. It's so cool.
Likewise, Johnny. Likewise.
Beautifully said.
Love you, man.
You become like brothers, you know, and all the stories you can tell of touring and, you know, being in the studio. It's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, a lot of time and everything that goes into it all. Nigel, I mentioned early on, since the teens, you've been doing this, and you have family that have, you know, inspired you with music in the household. Tell us about that. Tell us about how growing up with music in your life inspired you to want to actually pursue it professionally.
Yeah, well, Jim, in our area here where we live in Ireland, American country music is very, very big. And my mom and dad would have had an American style country band. My brother was the drummer, my sister was piano, my mom was the lead singer, and my dad was the guitar player. So the songs that they would have been doing was everything from Buck Owens to Billy Joe Spears, right down to Kenny Rogers, Dolly Parton, Don Williams, Charlie Pride. So I was drug along to these gigs as a small boy because probably no babysitter, so it's safer to travel with the parents. And I would be sitting beside my brother, basically at his floor tom, and automatically probably learning without even thinking about it. And then, you know, as I got a bit older, my brother would go out front to sing and I would drum, and I didn't even know the rhythms. I didn't even know the names of the rhythms. I just knew the songs. And then later on, when I really started to get good at drums, I realized there was more out there. There was Guns N' Roses, there was Bruce Springsteen, there was Def Leppard. And, you know, so I had my schooling was done at an early age, but most of all, the respect that you have to have for other musicians on the road. It's not just about the 2 hours that you sing on the stage. It's about the part where you have to room with somebody or you have to travel in a bus with somebody for 13 hours. This is the most important thing for me as a showman. And if you don't get on with people, well, you're never going to get on in show business. So for me, this was something that I learned probably from my parents, and then working with people like Daniel O'Donnell. It just was, you know, an amazing opportunity for me, getting to be in America, getting to tour Australia, Canada, Sri Lanka, New Zealand. So, you know, and making friends was always very special for me. And taking everything in the country. I know there's a lot of countries you travel to and you don't get a lot of opportunity to see all these countries. But I always tried my best to get up. I put my running shoes on, I go for my run, and I would try and see everywhere because I knew that maybe this might be the last time. But I had 6 great years traveling the world with Daniel, and now I just felt it was time that I wanted to do it on my own and try and knock down some doors on my own. So, yeah.
I remember you too from being the drummer for Daniel O'Donnell because I interviewed him many times on PBS, and that was great learning and exposure, being a part of that for so long with him, huh? Seeing how he does things and the certain sound that he has.
He just had a tremendous way with people.
Huge
and an
following
honest,
too. They love him.
Yeah, the following. Like I would travel back to Ireland and people would ask me, where were you playing in America? Were you playing Irish centers? And I was like, no, we were doing like maybe an ice hockey arena, an arena in Minot in North Dakota or somewhere, or you know, somewhere in Florida, maybe a theater in Florida, and no Irish people really there. Okay, maybe Irish ancestors or whatever, but definitely American people and Canadian people. But just the knowledge and watching, you know, Daniel work and watching the way the whole industry works, it was something that I learned from. But it just goes right down to respect. Just respect the people that's around you and do your best, and it's all you can do, you know.
Absolutely right. And then comes through all of this, The Voice, Ireland. How did that happen? How did that opportunity come your way?
It was a weird one because I was approached before by X Factor in England.
Oh
And
yeah, sure.
it was something that I didn't really want to do because I was a professional musician for so many years.
Right.
And especially doing The Voice, I was worried that if nobody turned, well then, you know, it's going to be a big problem for my career. So we entered the competition through a venue that I was playing at here in Ireland. I used to play in a venue every week, and they said, we'll back you if you can pass the first round. We'll promote you and we'll back you. So I said, okay, we'll give it a go. And they filled in the forms and they released it, and I got the call. I sang U2's great song Desire, and thankfully 2 chairs turned, and one was a beautiful Irish colleen from Tipperary called Una Healy, and she was my mentor and my coach, and yeah, the rest is history.
The exposure is something, right? You know, all of a sudden now you're on everybody's television sets, and now people are Googling you and they want more of your music, and whether somebody even wins or not, just the exposure and the experience of, you know, kudos to you, because I know a lot of people personally who are friends or colleagues who've entered them, and some are finalists, some have just been contestants, some have taken it home and won. But just I guess the exposure from it all and the learning experience, because it can be like a cattle call. You're up against thousands of people wrapped around velvet ropes that are trying to just be seen for 2.5 minutes, and that's it. So to progress to the levels that you did that give you a sense of like, gee, you know, obviously there's things that people are liking and recognizing in me to get this far in such a stiff, tough competition as that?
Yeah, it definitely gives you a confidence. Like going into the quarterfinals, I was offered the chance to do In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins, and this for me was my final. I didn't care if I got to the final after that. I got to perform this song. He's one of my heroes, and I got through the quarterfinals and into the semifinals. Got to the final, and unfortunately, I didn't get to perform that song again. I thought if I had a chance and performed that song again, well, maybe it would have been different. But like what you said, I got to the final and I had already achieved a lot more than I ever dreamed of. And everybody remembers, oh, that's the guy that played Phil Collins In the Air Tonight. And for me, it was an amazing achievement. I think if I had have won, it might have slowed me down a little bit. It might have sent me on a different direction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on a different path now, and it's more true to the music that I'm writing now than the path that Universal Records would have put me on in Ireland. So I'm happy where I'm at the moment.
It's perfect, because I just had somebody on just the other night who won actually The Voice here in America on NBC, and he was talking about that. He was talking about, I think, how he then would have to go to Vegas, and that they would be performing, but it would be him and then all the other finalists as well.
Yeah.
And he would have to wait like a half hour, an hour before he even got on stage to sing just one song. And there was this whole thing, and he wasn't into it. And he just, there's another guy too who won the Voice. Yeah, he won The Voice too in America, Nick Fradiani. And he lives, here in the New York area. And he went out briefly to LA and a little bit to Nashville, but he came back home. He's home with his family. He's in the New York area. And as a result of the exposure, he's recorded albums and all the rest, but he got an opportunity to star, which he still is, starring as Neil Diamond on Broadway in A Beautiful Noise, which is amazing, because his father, he heard Neil Diamond in his house all growing up, because his father's a musician too, loved Neil Diamond. And now all these years later, he's performing as Neil Diamond on Broadway. So there's things that happen as a result, but he wasn't into the whole, Hollywood sort of thing of it. He's true to his
chemistry,
true to the music. True to the music.
The chemistry is very different, Jim, because you're not really in a band. You're not in a band as such. You're with a lot of individual people who all want to be a star. And, when you're in a band, we always say it's nice to be in a band and not be the band.
Right. Exactly right. Yes. Just talk to the band members of those that have broken up over the years for various reasons.
Correct.
Johnny, that's a great name, Johnny Brady. Doesn't it sound like a superhero, a comic book hero?
I love that name, man. I love it.
Hero?
I love that name.
Johnny Brady. I mean, it's great.
Johnny Brady.
I tell you. How did you make your entree into the world of music? And did you, like Nigel, grow up in a house where music was always around you?
Yeah, I mean, listen to Nigel's story, and I know that story so well. It's a similar story in the fact that it was really my grandfather, my parents, they were massive country music fans, and I think it's in our DNA here in Ireland, where a lot of people are into Irish country and they go out to dances and things. And I think way back in the day, and maybe we all had to do it in all parts of the world, where people had to go out to meet other people, and going out dancing was a great way to do that. And I suppose my grandfather was an uncle of a real country legend from here, big Tom McBride, and he was from Castleblaney in County Monaghan. And I suppose just country music was everywhere, and he would have took me with him as a young lad in the pubs and stuff. You're maybe 4, you're 5 years old, and you're listening to all the little bands in the pubs, and my grandfather played fiddle and he took out the harmonica and stuff like that, and he was a bit of a character. And he was a very friendly kind of life and soul of the party type of guy, and I suppose I maybe learned a lot from him in the aspect of just being around people from such a very young age. And then his both sons were musicians, and they started a band, and by the time I was sort of 15, then I was out singing with the boys, and I just absolutely couldn't believe that somebody would give me a job doing this, something that I absolutely love doing. And I didn't even I still don't look at it as a job today. I did a thing on my young lad Shay, who is just about to go into secondary school here in Northern Ireland. I was doing a little session today in his school. They were celebrating all the P7s are leaving, and I have my acoustic and my stomp box. And in the school, I was talking about songwriting and talking about doing this for my living. And it's just, I mean, it's just amazing that I got this chance along the way. And it's a similar thing to Nigel, I suppose, really just playing in so many different bands and just coming through all those genres. As a kid, I never really limited myself to any particular music genre. I didn't say I was a country singer or a rock singer or any kind of singer. I just wanted to sing and play. And you know, I look at some of the things that Nigel's done there, and it's unreal. And you know, as a real supporter for him, like, it's just doing those big exposure TV shows is amazing for anybody to get the chance to do. But like you guys said, I suppose sometimes you can get so much exposure and then it sends you on a different path. And I think the path that I'm on was the path I was kind of meant to be on. I do really believe I was born to be in, you know, bands and write music and just like hang out with the guys. And I love being in a band more than actually. I love being obviously Johnny Brady and all that there, and I'm so lucky I've got a great band on the road, and I do love being in the Johnny Brady band as part of it as my name. But I do love being in a band that has that everybody's just kind of the same, and you're just out there, and it's all about the music, you know, and about the people that you're playing for. So similar to Nigel in a few different ways, I suppose. But my family were musical, and I guess that's how I get into it, and I just couldn't believe that really that it actually people give me gigs, and I just was like, I love that. I'll take that from any gig at all. There was no gig too big and no gig too small for me, you know, that sort of way.
That's so fantastic. That is great, and you're doing it again because of the love of it, and it's something that is in your, you know, heart and soul and in your DNA. And I think that's what's great. And people want to hear more, and they want to go to the concerts. And you've toured quite a bit extensively. Do you like the touring, Johnny?
I love touring. I mean, I love touring with the band, any band really. But I mean, I've done a lot more touring, you know, like in Europe and stuff with like to Take It to the Limit. And I've really had a big experience with those guys as a first time experience. But for me, even going to Nashville, I always went there on my own, and I was doing like in the rounds and stuff, and I really enjoy that. I love sitting with 3 or 4 people, and just maybe I've never met them in my life before, and maybe I haven't really met anybody in that room at all before, and I'm just sitting there, and I sometimes think to myself, I was born in Antrim town here in Northern Ireland, and I say to myself sometimes, how did I get to this place, you know, with all these cool people, and just sitting listening to their stories and their songs. And I genuinely just love all that end of it. I know Nigel loves that too, because he's, you know, and he's got so many great songs as well. He's such a great writer. He just, you know, his ideas are fantastic, and they're real stories as well. You can feel the, you know, the passion from all that there. So I find it even when you're touring as well, like Nigel said, you've seen all these different places in the world, and you're trying to, God, that's how they live like that, and it's amazing how they do this, and it's amazing how they do that, and you really hook into their cultures and even their food as well. I try anything, you know what I mean? And whenever, I sometimes believe that when you go to another country and you actually go down well and people think you're good, for me it's such a pleasure, because sometimes in your own country, as much as I love, I have so many great fans that love what I do, and I see them a lot, and they spoil me, and I go to myself, well, could I do that somewhere else? Could somebody else like me in another country? And when they do, you go, my goodness, this is amazing. Maybe you believe in yourself more. So I love that about touring, and really just hanging out with the lads that are, you know, when you go to Nashville, it's like, I live here, and I've got my family who I love, my kids, and you're into songwriting, and sometimes as a songwriter, you know, you get the acoustic out, and you see the door, he's got that guitar out again. You know, people don't understand sometimes, and whenever I hang out with Nigel or hang out with people in Nashville or just other people, songwriters, they actually are in the same place as me, and they like to hear my stories more so, and because I don't blame my kids and my wife or my dogs even for going, oh, you know, this guy is doing my head in. But it's cool that's what I love about touring, and that's what I love about hanging out with musical people, and even yourself, Jim. You know, you've done your homework, man. I don't think I've ever been described just as well as you described me. Thank you very much for the introduction. It's pretty amazing, and you sound like a passionate guy that really knows what he's talking about. So that's what I love about hanging out with guys like yourself, and being on tour, and that drives me, man. It really, really means a lot to me, you know.
One of the great, I appreciate that too. And one of the great things about, I think, Irish culture, Irish arts, Irish everything is not only the wit and wisdom, the humor. We all like to have a good time. We laugh. We're great at telling a good joke, but it's also the passion to be storytellers. And you
Yeah.
guys are brilliant storytellers through the music. Tell us about how important it is to capture these stories. Sometimes, you know, in Irish music, there's a lot of reflection on what it means to be Irish and some of the struggles of the Irish and the pride of the Irish, and a lot of the songs reflect that. And then there's other music that's even more contemporary in celebrating life and love and things of that nature. Tell us about why it's important to be a storyteller through the music, as you both are so brilliantly.
Well,
Nigel?
I feel if you're honest with your lyrics, and you know, I have been very honest with a lot of my original music. I try to tell the story that it's coming from me, and it is genuinely coming from me, because I want people to connect with the song, and they might say, "Oh, I've been through that same scenario," or "I had a friend who had that problem." Um, Trying to write happy songs probably is the most difficult thing to do at the moment, because of the past couple of years. But I have to say I'm on a good run at the moment of happy songs and fast songs. But in Ireland here, we're in a brand new transition again, that the old traditional songs are really coming back, and the younger audience are absolutely going crazy for the rebel songs and traditional songs from long ago. So the music that I know that I'm writing, and the music that Johnny's writing, I would class it very Americana style rock, which is more like the Irish when they went to America, and more about life and struggles. I'm not writing about war. I'm not, writing about anything about, drink related or anything like that. I'm just basically writing what I've seen in my life, and but I know at the moment, you could jump on the bandwagon, and we say jump on the bandwagon, and basically write a song that people would love, to be singing in a pub or whatever. But it wouldn't mean anything to me. It would be a fictional song, and so my lyrics are as honest as they can be, and that's the way I want to connect with my fans or people that's listening to my music. And I know, Johnny, I think you're probably pretty much the same.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I am the same, and I've tried in a way. I remember being in Nashville for 3 weeks at one point, and I was writing like 3 times a day, and it was so difficult to sometimes find maybe you're writing for a particular market, you're trying to write a song. Oh, right, would this work in a stadium here? Would this work in as an Irish song here? Would this be? And I find that really difficult. And I've tried it both ways, where I've tried to write, like I said, for a market. But I find, like Nigel said, is that I think if it's true, it's my happiest place, and that's how I feel. I feel better. I was just in the studio yesterday with a great friend of ours, Mark Cahill, and Nigel would know Mark a lot longer than I have. He's an amazing sort of a brilliant musician, great guy, and we're doing a song, and it's such a. I mean, I'm so delighted the way the song's turning out, and and it's so honest, and it's just like, wow, I can't even. So for me, that's my favorite place to be. I have to do a lot of gigs where I do dances and things like that, and that's about what your audience want, and I love doing those gigs too, because you can see their honesty coming at me. I can see their honesty. They're out there. Their passion is dancing, and their passion is country music. So I love to deliver these songs that are kind of cool for them as well. But in my absolute happiest place to be is sitting with the old acoustic guitar, just pouring my heart out to what is actually true to me, and that's, and just like Nigel said, it's my happy place, man.
Who are some of the folks over the years that, some other artists that you have been inspired by, music and artists that have really, touched you and you've gravitated to over the years, Johnny?
Well, I've been, very lucky to start out with obviously country music, which is, you talk about your ultimate story songs, and it's old school country, like it's the old, Hank Williams and, Merle Haggard and all these guys, and even probably even beyond that from my parents and my grandfather. But then I kind of get into like the Eagles and things like that. I mean, I know myself and Nigel are big fans of a guy called Vince Gill. And I know
Sure, yeah.
Nigel did a great tribute to him just a few nights ago. And those kind of guys inspire me. I mean, I love people like Michael McDonald, man. I love the soul music. You mentioned a guy called Foy Vance. I'm a huge fan of Foy. I know Foy. I mean, me and Foy are around the same age. I seen Foy in bands. My goodness, Soul Truth. He was a kid. I was a kid. I just was like, how is this guy singing like this? It's just insane. Just like when I see Nigel, it inspires me to be better. And like, so I look up to those type of people, and so many to mention. I'm a rock fan, so I look up to Steve Perry and Bon Jovi. And I actually watched the Bon Jovi documentary, and I was actually emotional watching it. I was like, oh my God, this guy is like such a cool guy. And he's having problems with his voice, and I know what that's like too. I've had problems with my voice. I'm 48 now, and I see where you burn the candle too much or you push too much, you can have problems. So but those guys all inspire me, and so it's just, I mean, the list goes on and on, Jim. There's so many.
How do you take care of your voice, Johnny? What do you do? A lot of people, I use my voice too on television, radio, and we're talking for hours and hours and hours. And we all know no dairy before you speak, because dairy is not so good to have before. But there's certain
no
secrets to doing it. And like you mentioned,
No beer.
No, right. Well, then you start singing and dancing and then everybody in the room is attractive, and you know how that happens.
Oh yeah, it's all life is better. Nobody's just better in beer.
Nobody's homely. We've got to mention to our audience, because we have an international audience. I learned something new, and I can't believe that I didn't know this. With the Irish connections and roots, that we know here in America and probably Canada too, I would imagine, that when you say homely, it's usually unattractive, not necessarily going to win any beauty pageants or any of that. So homely is a person that's very homely. That dog is homely. That cat is homely. But if you go to Ireland, it doesn't quite mean that, does it?
No, it means that you're a very warm person, and if you welcome somebody to your home, or or offer them, lunch or tea or anything, that other person would say, "Oh wow, Jim is very homely."
In a good way, Jim. In a good way.
I can't wait
actually
to
learned
use that. I'm probably going to get slapped.
No, you won't. But I know we spoke about having the crack as well. So
yes,
crack in Ireland obviously is a different word. But
jolly,
yeah,
fun,
so you're very
good times. It's
exactly.
I can't wait to walk into a relative or friend's house, or probably not a colleague, because you want to keep your employment, but maybe a friend or
on your nose,
and say, boy, this was really a fantastic night, and I got to tell you, you're quite homely.
and your good crack.
Wait, let me explain. It's a good thing.
Yeah,
that is funny. All of the different. So you, Nigel, who are some of the folks that you've been inspired by, and that
like Johnny, I could list a lot of people, but my absolute hero, I'm just going to mention one guy, and he's my absolute hero. I love him to bits, and that's Bruce Springsteen. He is my absolute,
the boss. Yeah,
he is just everything to me, and he just finished 4 unbelievable sellout shows here in Ireland, and also sang a great song by Shane MacGowan from the Pogues. He's just a guy that has always stayed honest to his music, his fans. He's a guy that I always thought was maybe 6 feet tall, and I believe he's only about the same size as me. So I traveled to New Jersey. I seen him in Madison Square Gardens. I was in Asbury Park. I was in the Stone Pony. I'm like a stalker, but obviously I never got to meet this guy. But he is my absolute goat. When I need a song to listen to at night, he is the guy that I would always go to. And
you have a favorite of his? What would be, like, if you could only pick one of his songs, what would it be?
It has to be Jungle Land. Has to be Jungle Land. And the reprise, everything. It's, for me, Jungle Land is just everything. It's musical theater.
Yeah, it is.
It just moves. It just moves into different tempos, and then the sax solo from Clarence Clements at the end, and it's just amazing. Now, I know he performed it, I think, about 2 years ago live from, I think, Madison Square Gardens, but I've seen the boss maybe 7 times now, and I've never got to see him perform that song live. But it's a tough one. It's a big song live now. So, but that's my favorite, Jungle Land, yeah.
What do you think it is about, and I've asked a few of the other Irish artists who've come through the Jim Masters show, this affinity that Ireland has for folk music, country music, of your own, and of course the Americana style. What is it about that music that you think resonates with the Irish? Is it the fact that it's authentic, it's real, it tells stories, there's happiness, there's heartbreak, there's gain, there's loss, it's about life? Do you think that's where the connection is? What do you think it is?
Well, for me, I'll try to be as fast as I can here because I want Johnny to get in. But for me, growing up as a kid, my dream was always to go to America. We had American programs here on the TV, watching The Fall Guy, A-Team, Rocky. We were always, America was the land of hope and dreams, basically. My parents singing American songs. We just, not trying to blow smoke, but it was a massive dream of mine to go to America, and I achieved that goal on a lot of times. And I absolutely love Irish music. I really do. But I do feel that the Irish music did go to America, and it did evolve into something. And there is a melting pot there that it all came back around, and now it's been kind of brought back here. Like, one of the biggest songs here at the moment is a song from, I think he's a Canadian artist, called Stick Season by Noah Kane. And it's just, we love America here. I know you love Ireland in America, but we just love America, and especially American country. We love it. Chris Stapleton, we just love it. Ryan Adams, not Brian now, Ryan.
Right, exactly.
But that's it for me. It probably was hope, dreams, expectation to better yourself. I know it sounds like a cliche, but that's, for me, was my love for American music.
How about you, Johnny?
Music. So Johnny,
I think when I was a kid, as Nigel said, we watched all the same programs. I just went to watch the movie of The Fall Guy there a few weeks ago. All those American programs, and
I bet you watched the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, we watched the Brady Bunch.
I like it.
That was like going to church in our house, the Brady Bunch. You know what I mean? You had to watch it every Sunday. It was Brady Bunch, go to church, go to Brady Bunch. It was awesome. But even the music that was on those shows was just, it was just so cool. And I know that a lot of people for many years here in Ireland were leaving to go to America, land of opportunity, place where dreams were made and all that kind of thing. But I just think as far as like what Nigel said as well, the music there is just, I love Irish music too. I do. I really do. I think it's amazing. I think traditional musicians are just some of the finest musicians in the world. But for me, it's definitely the Americana thing for me, I'm afraid. It's your Bruce Springsteens and all that, your Chris Stapletons, all that kind of stuff. And I think when I go there, and when I was a kid, actually at school, in my secondary school, I remember sitting in maths class one day, and I wasn't very good at school, let me tell you. I left school with literally no qualifications whatsoever. And I don't mind saying that because I just found it difficult at school, and that's the way it was. But I remember my maths teacher, I'll never forget this day, he takes out an acoustic guitar in class, and I was about 13, I think, at the time. and he starts singing the song that he wrote himself. And I kind of thought to myself, I thought only famous people wrote songs. I didn't realize you had to write the songs to get famous, I suppose, really, at the time, or to be more popular. And, I just thought it was people in America and things like that. I didn't even realize. So it was just a great thing and a great memory for me. And, I remember asking him that question. He says, like, no, everybody can write songs. You can write songs yourself. He says, yes, America is the land of opportunity and all that. But I remember getting there for the first time, and I was just like, wow. I mean, and the one thing I love about Americans is they're always so good. They're always so good at what they do. And whenever an American band comes on stage, you go, the Americans are on them. Yanks are in town. These guys know how to do it. They're so good at what they do. Yeah, you go to Nashville, man, and they're just so good over there. I mean, they're good everywhere in New York, anywhere you go in LA. I've been to all these places, and they're just amazing. And I just love that about them, And I love their confidence too. And I love their every day is going to be a good day. It's a good songwriting day, even if it's not a good songwriting day. They have positivity, and I need that. So that's what I love about you guys. You guys are cool, man.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Well, a lot of people too, they'll say, and some folks I've interviewed from other parts of the world will say one of the things that they really like about the American audiences is they are responsive. So if they really love you, they're going to clap, they're going to cheer, they're going to support you. And especially in the bigger cities, like a New York or what have you, where they're just very passionate to begin with, they're going to be very supportive and on their feet and cheering and screaming and happy, where you can go to other parts of the world where it's much more of a, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
But you can really feed off that energy of a roaring crowd, right? It makes a difference sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Feeds you guys.
Like when you have an audience in front of you that's energetic, I don't know, maybe it's probably coming from playing in bars where, you always struggle in your first hour. Like in Ireland, we would do maybe 2 hours straight through, maybe without a break. And, your first hour is always a little bit casual, but by the second hour, if you don't have them on their feet, you're not going to get another booking in that bar, So you're really pushing and you're pulling, you're trying to think, you're pulling all the hits out and you're throwing them in there, your Sweet Carolines, your whatever, the Gambler, whatever it takes to get them people on their feet at the end. And I suppose, I toured last year with a new production, and it was with an orchestra, and it was in France. Now my French is not very, very good at all, but I felt for the first hour that I was basically dying on my ass, and I was like, oh my God, I have to really do something here, but we couldn't pull them songs out. But I just learned that the audience is a very, very different audience. They really appreciate the music. They're sitting back, they're relaxing, they are clapping, like exactly what you said, Jim. But they're not Irish. They're not going to. I dressed up. I'm not going to, ruin my suit. I'm not going to jump up. I'm not going to eat chocolate. I'm going to look at you, and you perform for me. And that's so. France was a wake up call for me that sometimes you don't always have to, be the clown in the corner or the guy that's trying to make a person laugh. Sometimes people just love you and they just want to. I know myself, if I go to see a band, I don't really dance myself. I look at the band and I'm trying to learn all the time. So, right. But I feel that, it's a different scenario. I think we're very, very lucky in Ireland that we have crazy people.
They like to have a good time.
They really do.
And I think that's why people have an affection for it too, is they know that it's going to be a good time, and people are charismatic generally, and they're friendly and happy-go-lucky sort of, because been through a lot. And I think that's a beautiful thing. That's that's this love affair that America and Canada have with everything Irish. Certainly everything Irish still is very, very strong here. Do you like touring? I mentioned to ask Johnny if he liked touring. Do you like touring as well, Nigel?
Yeah, I really love touring now. I'm married to a German lady. We have a little 5-year-old son, and we have another baby on the way. But for me, touring it, it puts a lot of stability in my life because I can say that I'm going to be, in Holland in March, or I'm going to be in France in April, and then I haven't gone to the States yet with my own show, but we're hoping that something's going to happen. But if I can work for the first 3 months, January, February, March, and then I have my summertime. My wife is a school teacher, so when I go back in the morning, it's complete rest right through till the end of July, and I come back to Ireland for some shows with Johnny and the guys. We take it to Limit, and then my August is all Germany again. Nice relaxing time with the family, and it builds you up again for the winter, and then you're ready to rock again. So it's seasonal. Touring for me is seasonal, but it suits my life with my family, and you don't have to be always just, oh, I'm leaving again tomorrow to play in a bar, or I'm playing in England, or I'm playing whatever. Those days are gone, thankfully, and I can now have a proper system to my life, which is healthy.
You can make it what you want it to be,
Exactly.
right, and not have
Yeah.
to do the chasing all the time, which is what we all
Yeah, the
do in those
chasing is the
early
hard
years,
part.
is chasing and saying yes
Yeah.
to everything and doing everything, and then you sort of, it's a mellowing maybe, but you sort of then come to the point where, like, gee, okay, I don't really I'm a seasoned veteran now. I don't really need to do as much chasing. Now I can really
Exactly.
focus on the heart and soul of what I really want to be doing, sharing and expressing with the world. And you guys are obviously in a place where you're doing that, which is a cool, sweet spot to be, isn't it?
It's really cool.
Awesome.
Not that we don't chase a few dollars to pay the bills. You have to still do that.
Exactly. Like, don't get me
You know?
wrong. We're all trying to make a living, and put food on the table, as to say. But I think we're in a beautiful situation that I'm definitely older, and I'm not trying to be that star anymore. And them dreams have, okay, I would love in my, to have a hit record, definitely, yeah. But I think I'm done with chasing. Now I'm just want to entertain, and I want my music to be, to be appreciated, and I want people to appreciate my music. I want them to appreciate me as a performer, and I just want to, give everything that I can without, chasing that dream, so to say. There's nothing wrong with chasing the dream, but for me, I have no illusions that I'm 51 years of age now, and I'm in a really good situation with my work, and I'm very, very happy with what I'm doing. I'm singing probably better than I've ever sung in my life, and I have my technique right. I know how to look after myself, and I'm happy. I'm really happy. At 25, 26 years of age, I was in a completely different situation. So I'm just very, very fortunate to have what I have, and I'm enjoying it.
How do you like living in Germany?
I love it. It's very, very different. I love it. I have great people around me. I have a great German band there as well. Um, it is very, very different, and not just as homely as Ireland. I would run a lot, and I know in Ireland, and Johnny will vouch for this, when you go running, or everybody's waving at each other and they say hello, hello, hello. And I know that when you go to Germany, it's a little bit more private. When you say hello to somebody, they just maybe look the other way. I don't know. Maybe it's a privacy thing. I'm not sure. But my 5-year-old little boy, he said to me one day, "Why are people not so friendly over here, Daddy?" I don't know. It's just not homely. I think it's just different. It's a different country.
Yeah.
They have a good sense of humor, but it
Yeah.
just needs to be opened up a little bit
Much more,
more.
a little more
That's all.
stoic and a
A little bit more whiskey.
reserved, and sit up straight, and it's exactly.
Okay,
Yes.
now.
Right.
That's
Not
a
as
little bit of German
homely.
for you.
Exactly.
No, definitively nicht.
You guys, of course, writing songs too. Have you had a desire or dream to write film scores, movie music, things like that too?
Johnny.
Well, I wish that I could, Jim. I would be musically now. I don't read music or anything like that, and I don't maybe understand the theory that going back to the school, the whole school thing. I find it difficult to understand sometimes some things like that. But I mean, I would love to be involved in that sort of stuff, but I just don't. I like to get involved in producing my own stuff, but as far as writing music and stuff like that, it's more like writing lyrics, chords, things like that. I don't write notation or anything that I wish I could. I wish I was that talented. But unfortunately for me, I wouldn't be able to do that. But I mean, I absolutely love movies. I still, I don't know whether the movie theater is as popular as it used to be, but I still love going to the movie theater. I love watching movies, and I love movie soundtracks. Unreal, So, but personally, myself, I wish I could do it, but sadly I can't.
It sounds, Johnny, like you do a lot of your work, your mastery, through gut feeling. You go with your gut. A lot of what you're doing is coming from feeling and the depth of it, and then you just find a way to put it together.
Yeah, a lot of it is like that for me, and it's like sometimes I just and Nigel could be like this too, because I've spoke to him about this a little bit. I just sit with my acoustic and I come up with a bit of a vibe, and then I start maybe singing some lyrics over that, or it's something that's maybe happened, or somebody's told me a story or whatever. Like a song I was working on yesterday was a song. It was actually a guy, Mark, who had asked me to write a song for another person, and I was like, right, okay. And I told me a little bit about this person, and I just thought, I started down this road of writing a song, and it meant something to me because I'd heard this story, and just that's kind of how I really do it. And even whenever me and Nigel wrote together, it was kind of it was a good feeling because it was so funny. I just come up with this little groove on the acoustic, and Nigel just turned to me and said, "Sail on by, looking for a brand new day." And I was like, "Geez, that's cool." And then we just, we were just like vibing away, and it was like, it's great. And I just went with it, and he went with it. And as Nigel said, we basically had it written within that very short space of time, and then we just sort of fine-tuned it a little bit here and there over sort of WhatsApp or whatever. But that's my favorite thing. I just love hanging out with the acoustic and just writing songs and listening to people, just singing their songs. It's the best.
Absolutely. How about you, Nigel?
Yeah, writing music for movies, I think, has opened up very differently in the past few years. Like one of my favorite movies it was actually on the TV here the other night, was Flag Day, and the music in that movie was Glenn Hansard and Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam, and I think now you don't even really need to be on a great program like Grey's Anatomy or something like that. You have perfect opportunity as a singer-songwriter now to achieve that. Like another artist that myself and Johnny loves here is a guy called Garrett Dunlop, and he's proven that you don't need the full orchestra behind you, or you don't need to score. Johnny says he doesn't read music. I don't read music either, but I think the key to a good song now is to connect with people, and especially in a situation if you're looking at a program. I know Johnny's producer is Mark Cahill, and he produces a lot of my music as well. Now, Mark is an arranger for TV and film scores. So I think if we have an idea, we always kind of go back to Mark, and then we say, listen, we have an idea here. Do you think it would work? And he might go, yeah, it could work or whatever. But like, we have pitched some stuff to TV, but unfortunately it hasn't worked yet. But you never know. We could get there pretty soon, I'm confident that we're on the right path, and we have the right guy that's producing both our music, and it's just a matter of time before maybe one song, or even waiting on the other side, might just get that, direction in the right path. Yeah,
absolutely. Tell us about the song. Congratulations on it again too, Waiting on the Other Side. Is that a Mustang you guys are in?
That's a Mustang. Yeah,
that's
a Mustang.
Cool
that's
shot.
My Mustang in Germany. I wish.
Classic American car. Yeah.
a classic American car. It was a collaboration that we wanted to record a video, and we knew we wanted American style. We wanted the sweet corn fields, and so I called Johnny. I think I might have called him on Thursday, and I said, Johnny, the summers in Ireland are not very good, but they're very, very good in Germany. Would you like to come to Germany to film the video? And he said, yeah, I'll book a flight. And within 5 minutes, he was like, yeah, I'm coming to Frankfurt next Tuesday. I picked him up on the Tuesday. We shot the video on the Wednesday, and he was back in Ireland on the Thursday. And we had terrific weather. This is the scene where Johnny does our James Bond scene. He gets out of the lovely lake. This was at 9:30 in the morning. So I'm drinking a Guinness, and
it was pretty cold, guys. It was pretty cold. It was pretty cold.
I was gonna say,
yeah, you won't see in the shorts there. The shorts are too baggy, but it was pretty cold.
Cold day now. That's what's going on there. That's what's going on.
But we had a lot of fun, and I asked a very good friend of mine from my local village where I'm living, and he had the Mustang, and it's a 67, and he let us drive it. He let us have it for the day. The only thing he wouldn't let us change was the shield, the number plates. We wanted to put American number plates on there, but he insisted that it's Germany all the way, baby.
That's funny.
Class.
It's a great video. How long did it take to actually put it together? We're showing some of it here for our viewers. It's cool. It's very well done. It's high production value, drones following the Mustang. I mean, cool stuff.
The guy that worked the drone actually I've never seen anybody do a drone like him. Wasn't he brilliant, Nigel? Wasn't he unreal?
He was amazing. We basically had one day because Johnny was just coming in. Now it took almost probably 3 months to get the video back because he was sending it over, and we wanted everything to be the right color. And we also had a good friend of ours do stunt rider. He's a Red Bull world champion on cross jumps, and he's a daredevil basically, like Evel Knievel. And so we just wanted everything to be right. It's just one of those videos that it wanted to be funny. It needed to be special, and it needed to connect. And I just thanks to Johnny for taking the time to come over and trusting me, because believe you me, Jim, on the Thursday when I left Johnny back, it was raining in Germany. So we were very, very lucky. The gods were definitely looking down upon us.
Yeah, we were so lucky. We really were.
That's incredible. So this is something that has been really a while in the making, and the fact that you guys came together, which I think is really great. You can even see it in the video too. And if folks want to hear the music, they can go to Spotify and iTunes, and it's available on all those streaming platforms too, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Everything. It's
all there. What was it like working with each other? A lot of times, I mean, it's obvious you have a real respect and rapport together, and which I think is a wonderful thing, is when you have an opportunity to work with people and they have their own individual talents and background and, understanding of whatever it is that you're doing, and they bring that to the table, and then you have the same, you bring it to the table, and you sort of meld it together. You seem to have a real admiration for one another and a respect for each other's talents, which I think is great, and it shines through the music.
Johnny?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, for me, it's easy to work with Nigel. From I met him from day one, it was just, I didn't realize that would actually develop into something that it did. I never really could have. You can't predict those things, but I knew that I was a fan of what he does, and I looked up to him a lot and I respected him a lot for his talent. And then I got to know him, and there's it's great crack, it's great fun working with Nigel. He's so funny as well, and we take ourselves very serious. We take the music serious, but we don't take ourselves too serious. We can have a laugh at ourselves, and even being on tour, like Nigel said, it's one thing being a great singer or a great musician, but what do you like to tour with, I suppose? And it's great to tour with him and the lads, and we all get on very well. But as I say, whenever this thing came across, and Nigel said to me, Johnny, will we do a video for this? And, you know, could you come to Germany? I was like, man, absolutely, 100%, all in. And, you know, Nigel's lovely wife and everybody, and his little son, that was great fun. His son is just a wee rock star. He's unreal. Wee Mats is so cool. Nadine as well, like, they looked after me. Nadine's parents, he really lives he's got great people around him. And, you know, he's a great person. They've got a great person there too. So for me, it was a no-brainer. Absolutely 100% all in with this. And as I say, it's one of my favorite projects that I've worked on. And let's hope we'll do something else again. We're going to be hanging out together, me and this man, hopefully for many years to come. I really see it.
God, yeah.
As Nigel says, we really believe that at some point we get to the States doing our own stuff, because I've been there doing the singer-songwriter thing, but, you know, even maybe Take It to the Limit may get there, or even one of Nigel's shows gets there. Hell, I'm going to fly over and see him anyway, Jim, and we'll all go and have a Guinness somewhere. You're invited, man. You're coming. Coming again.
Good. Yes. Tell me where that is, and tell me where the mashed potatoes are, and I'm in.
The Tullamore Jew.
I was going to say, yeah. I tell people that if God ever said, Jim, I'm going to put you on an island, and you're going to live there, and there's only one thing you can eat the rest of your life, and it will sustain you until the last breath. What would you want? Pick all these fabulous things. I gotta say mashed potatoes. I love mashed potatoes. My father and I have always sort of, fought over the mashed potatoes, my mother's mashed potatoes, and there'll be a big bowl on the table. And my father always asking, you know, after everybody has their portions on the plate and the big bowl is still there, would anybody else like more? And we know he's hoping they say no, because he wants to finish it off himself.
I'm not sure, Jim, if you ever tried. I know my mom used to make it here, but we used to make fried eggs and onion and put it into the mashed potatoes, and you mix it up, and it's called Kilcannon here in Ireland. And it's
that's right. Yeah, it's great. Like if you had mashed potatoes like the night before left over, and you take them and you put them in the pan, and that's good stuff.
Making me hungry.
Do either of you cook? You guys cook? What are some other things you do separate from being in music? What do you do to balance life and to enjoy life separate from?
Well, I definitely cook. I love cooking, and I love to cook, and I love to make, you know, whatever food that obviously you can't get in Germany. I'll always try and keep the tradition going and try and do as much Irish food for my son as I can in
Not
Germany.
Not so much Wiener Schnitzel or...
No. I was answering you in German, sorry. But I also love to run. Running is something that I've been doing a long time. A lot of marathons and half marathons under my belt. And it's something that keeps my mind in the right place. And obviously, you know, touring, you get up and you get out of your hotel early, and it's some of the best ways to see, you know, what's outside the doors, and it's something that that has been with me since I was 15 years of age, and I have to say a lot of my songs come from when I'm running, and then I come back home and I turn on the voice recorder on my phone and I sing it straight in, and I come up with a lot of tempos and drum beats as I'm running as well, because I have a very bad habit of drumming with my teeth. But so drumming, I suppose, and eating. It's a combination of both. But just keeping fit and keeping in the right frame of mind, I think it helps me. So,
you know, we had the singer Melissa Manchester on the show, and you made me think of this. I referenced this a couple of times. She's been on the show about 3 times. You know, legendary singer songwriter, and I asked her, you know, what inspired you to write these hits, to write this great music, this legendary music we've heard all these years? And says, you know what happens, Jim? She said, I could be walking from one room in the house to another. I could be waking up, from a dream, and something will hit me and inspire me immediately. And what I need to do is I need to run and get to the piano, and I've got a recording machine right next to it. I press record, and I just start playing the piano, and whatever is flowing through me and out of me, I'm recording it and capturing it. Even if it doesn't seem to make any real sense, it's not cohesive.
Yeah.
I'm still capturing it and recording it, because if I don't and I wait, it's going to dissipate week in. I may forget about it. So I got to capture right then and there. And it could be a fleeting situation, and it's something that comes out of nowhere. It sounds like you guys have the same thing. I know a lot of people, when they think of something, you could be in a supermarket, you could be on a bus, you could be at the ocean, something inspires you, and they'll grab their phone and they'll start like singing or recording into the phone to capture it too. You guys do that?
Yeah. A lot of my ideas would be coming, like, especially in the airport in the morning. Now I go to a lot of airports, and that's where I get a lot of ideas. But it's crazy. I'm sorry for jumping in there, Johnny, but that's
no,
yeah. And sometimes
what are some
I'm
of
in
the inspirations you get at the airport? Flight delays, lost luggage.
Yeah, I don't know. I think with me, the first thing that kind of hits me first is the tempo. I'll come up with maybe a tempo, and I'm starting, I'm rocking away, and then I come up with chords in my head, and then I might just see something or trigger something, and then straight away I'll record it on my phone, and I'll even write the name of the song. Most of the times, the name of the song never changes. I write it down, and it's nearly right, without even writing the song. So then I'll go back home, I'll take out the guitar, and I'll work out the chords, and I go, right. Then I'll sing it for my wife and say, did you think you heard that song before? And she's like, no, definitely not. And then I might send it to Johnny, and I'd say, Johnny, has that any chance, do you think? And he might text me back, wow, that's great, or whatever, or it's crap, or whatever, But
I never did that, man.
No, you never did it. You never did it. But it's great to have honest people. If you have honest people, and you don't want yes people, telling you need people telling you no, I'm sorry, it doesn't cut the mustard. So yeah, that's my.
How about you, Johnny?
Yeah, well, I'm not really much of a cook now. The first question was, my dad's pretty bland, and I keep my dad bland because as I get older, I find it hard to keep weight down, and that's why I kind of like running like Nigel. I like exercising. One of my things is I've got 2 dogs, and I really like hanging out with those guys. We do a lot of walking and stuff. So that's pretty cool, and a lot of my inspiration can come from that, out doing walks and. Like as Nigel said, traveling as well. It's just what people watching. Actually, sometimes you can get ideas, and a lot of my ideas come from actually watching movies and stuff. Like I would watch. There's a movie channel here, and it's called Movies 24, and it's not even like the movies are low budget movies, right? And they're like. But sometimes my wife will laugh. She'll laugh at me for watching these movies, and the kids will like, Dad's watching Movies 24 again. Christmas 24, all this kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
But
sure.
Sometimes it makes you feel a certain way. Movies make me feel emotion, and when I feel emotion, then I can write songs. It's weird, and it could be a happy song, or it could be a breakup song. And I haven't even had a breakup at that point. I know what a breakup feels like from previous years, from a long time ago. But that's where I get my inspiration. So like it's all sorts of things really, or somebody could say something to me, and that's how I get my inspiration. But I want to say one thing to you as well about the mashed potato thing that you were saying about my most favorite mashed potatoes that I've ever had were actually I went to 4-H camp, you guys call it, Camp America. I did that for 2 years, and I was there on my own, and there was no Irish people around. Actually, I was in Front Royal outside Virginia, in Virginia, about an hour from DC, and there was this really cool guy called Adam Dove, and his mum made the best mashed potatoes, and they are unbeaten. I tell you, they're unbeaten. So I need to get over to yours sometime, get your mashed potatoes, because at the minute. Mama Dove she is a rock star in my eyes. She is the Steve Perry of mashed potatoes,
That's the way to put it, Johnny.
You could be my Michael McDonald, man. You could be my Jim. You could be my Michael McDonald in mashed potatoes, man. I think you could be.
I was going to say, I tell you, right?
Yeah. I'm not in love anymore.
I was going to say, I know the viewers, I don't know if you can do just a couple of lines a cappella of anything, just so they can hear the voices. Sometimes when we do it this way versus pre-recorded stuff, we get away from the copyright thing that happens on YouTube and all that craziness. But if you wanted to sing just a little of something so they hear you guys, that would be awesome. The viewers love when the guests do that.
I think together.
No pressure.
Just do your own thing first, Nigel, because it may be easier, it might be hard to sync up.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks for putting me on the pressure cooker there, Johnny. Let me.
He really looks up to.
The original song.
He got scared and disappeared.
I thought you cut me off there, man. You cut me off, man.
He said, "Sure."
I'm sorry, Johnny. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I suppose I could sing this is a song that I wrote a few years ago called "Same Old Story," and the chorus is basically just like well, it's always the same old story, and it's always the same old lies. Oh, we're looking back upon the happiness and the sorrow, and we're taking back my life from where it all went wrong. And it's always the same old story. That's the chorus. It's called "Same Old Story."
Very nice, my friend.
Man.
Very nice, my friend. Johnny Brady. Johnny Lightning, Johnny Dynamic.
I will do. Well, this is like we were talking that, like, say, for instance, inspiration. This was I wrote a song there. I've actually recorded a video for it, and it's ready to go. I haven't put it out yet. It's a song called "You Gotta Run," and I was just out one day, and like it's such a simple thing. Out with the dogs. It was just coming out the end of COVID, and things were starting to come back, and I was feeling a lot better. And I just seen this little river flowing, and I was just like, life's like this river where sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's slow, but you gotta run. You gotta live life to the max. Cause I'm one of these guys. I live every day as if it's my last, because one day I'm gonna be right. That sort of way. And so it sort of goes a bit like this: watch your river flow. Over rocks and down through the shells. It's like life, Sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's slow. She'll be having fun. Oh, you gotta run like the river flows, running wild over stones. Never looking back, ain't no future in the past. You gotta run. You gotta run.
Nice and Johnny.
Wow, that's fantastic, my friend.
So
Congratulations.
That's my inspiration.
Fantastic choices you guys picked. You know what I think is amazing? And we talk about it all the time here in the States, how you have the ability, Scottish, Irish, English, whatever, to drop the accent when you're singing. And you would think that you live in Nashville, Tennessee, that you live in Iowa, Georgia, anywhere. It's amazing how when you are singing and performing, you're able to that accent, the Irish accent, the brogue, the English accent, the Scottish accent, it just sort of disappears. And there's so many artists and acts you think, gee, I wonder where in America they come from. They're like, no, he's actually from Scotland, or he's from London, or Yorkshire, or Dublin. It's quite amazing. It's a skill.
Yeah. I did this gig, Nigel. I was in Carrickmacross. This is a little town in in Ireland, and we did this gig just on last Friday night, actually. And I was standing at the end of the gig, and I was talking to people, and people were saying, "Oh, it was a great gig," and all this kind of thing. So this girl comes up and she said, "Does anybody know who the American is? Where's the American?" she thought I was like an American, because when she heard me talking, she said, "Oh, that's not the guy I'm looking for. It's just a different guy, the American guy." And I'm not sure who you mean. It's just the guy that was up singing. He's the American guy. And I said, "No, that was me." That was me. And she's like, no, he was American. I was like, no, he wasn't. He was from Belfast.
See, it's probably Ireland. Ireland is very, very small, and where Johnny is living, it's more right up at the very north. So, sometimes when you go down to the south of Ireland, people speak very, very fast. So when Johnny is touring with us, we take the limit. He has to really slow down his accent. But it's great, Johnny. Like I love the way Johnny talks because where he is, they have an unbelievable sense of humor in the north, and they just have a great way of them, they're great characters. But I do feel it's so hard, for the northern accent. I'm a little bit more closer to, say, Dublin, so we do try to maybe speak a little bit more. I don't know, maybe slower or whatever, but it's definitely where Johnny is. That part of Ireland, and Cork and Kerry for me are special. These are accents that are very hard to copy. You cannot copy these accents. They're very, very original, and I think when you see some great actors coming out of Northern Ireland and Belfast and places like that now, they're making massive waves in America.
For sure.
And even Foy Vance. I'm not sure, Jim, if you're familiar with Foy Vance, but Foy Vance is really cracking America at the moment with a Northern Ireland accent, which is just for me amazing. We were always kind of told, to speak, and sing proper and not to confuse people and let people really know your lyrics and so they can connect with them. But sometimes with Foy, I don't even understand his lyrics, because he's very, but it's working, and it's amazing. Yeah.
It's like that.
It's unreal. It's unreal.
North to south, everybody has their own dialects. Somebody that's in Boston sounds different than somebody that's in Atlanta, or somebody that's in Iowa sounds different than somebody that's in LA. It's interesting, especially in London too, or in England, the different sounds between Manchester and Yorkshire and Liverpool, completely. Some have that real Cockney sound, and it's just really. It's quite amazing. So you guys are you're having the time of your life. You're really enjoying it. You're having a good time. None of it comes easy. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears. A lot of years put in, but you're enjoying it. And I'm sure we're going to see more of you over here in the States. And Canada as well. I don't doubt that. I know that's on the radar, right, for both of you?
It's on the radar. Yeah, it's definitely on the radar for a couple of different reasons. Because I'm involved with another project at the moment that celebrates all the music of U2, and it's with a full orchestra. And this is something that we had some very positive feedback from the States, and we're hoping to get to America with this show. And we hope maybe with the Eagles, we're doing the celebration of the Eagles with Take It to the Limit. We hope that this would work as well. Sometimes you can't bring snow to the Eskimos, but we do a terrific job to the Eagles music. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's great American band. How do you like performing with a full orchestra? It's really powerful, isn't it?
It's very, very powerful. I've been very, very lucky to have toured with this troupe of people. We have a full Polish orchestra, and our conductor as well is Polish, and we last year we performed the full Joshua Tree album, and now this year we're doing the entire Joshua Tree album with the hits of U2. So it's something that's it's very hot at the moment because U2 just finished their residency in Las Vegas, so it's going really, really well, and we're hoping that we can take this to the States and maybe tour there with maybe with local orchestras as well. If it works out, we can use local orchestras as well and try and get this show out there, because it's not only an amazing show to watch. We have a terrific screen behind us showing all unbelievable footage as well, telling the story of the complete U2 songbook. So yeah,
that's incredible. Johnny, what else do you have coming up for you?
Well, I'm so busy at the minute, Jim, because we do a lot of festivals here in Ireland. We're actually doing a few in England this year as well, which is new for me. Breaking into a different sort of market for me as well. It is country crossover type stuff. It's a lot of country, but we do a bit of everything, and a few originals in there as well. Hopefully, if we can get it. Sometimes the original is stuff in my gigs is a little bit tough. It's more cover based. But as Nigel said, I mean, I do need to get back. I need to plan another trip back to Nashville for writing purposes, just even to hang out with those guys. I haven't been back in a few years, so things like that. And but I'm actually literally so busy. I'm back. We're touring again with Take It the Limit. At the end of the year, back to Germany again, and then back into early in the year, we're back with Holland and Germany, and who knows further and beyond. But I want to get an album out. Original stuff. I keep changing the songs, and I keep going back to the drawing board in this, but it's one of these things I just want to do for my own self, and I'm just doing that, and just gigging away, man, just working a lot, working a lot of gigs, probably too many, to be honest. Vocally, it's a bit tiring for me, but that's kind of what I do. I just kind of have a bit of a journeyman, as I say. I just never stop really working. That's the thing.
That's key. And that's what it's all about, right? That's literally what it's all about. Congratulations on everything. This is really a phenomenal, I don't call these interviews here at the Jim Master Show. I say these are conversations, free flowing. We had no prepared questions, nothing scripted. A lot of people say we're bringing back the Lost Art of Conversation, but you guys obviously are real stars at what you do. You're very passionate about it. It's something that is in your blood. You're storytellers. You have a good time. You've had these amazing experiences that have happened in your lives as well, and you continue to share it with all of us. And I think that's why people enjoy hearing from you. And I was very excited when we had an opportunity to put this together and celebrate the new music, but also give people here in America and in Canada and around the world a little more understanding of who you are, why you do what you do. As I said, it doesn't always come easy, but you put the time in, and you don't have to wait on the other side anymore, because it's happened. There it is. You can get it at Amazon, you get it at iTunes, Spotify, all the places where streaming platforms are, gang. And of course, we've been showing this throughout the show. There's Nigel's site and there's Johnny's site, so you can see all the cool things they're working on, and videos and music and everything else. And this was awesome, guys. Thanks for all the time, really. And I can't wait to hopefully
Thank you very much,
guys in person, whether I'm over on a TV shoot in Ireland or something, or Germany, or and I've been through Germany. We were filming in the Netherlands, filming in Greece, and we had visited Stuttgart, Hamburg.
Yeah, I lived there for
Cologne. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah.
The rail system there is fantastic. It's like a bullet. I mean, the trains. It's like
the ICE.
Yeah, it's incredible.
ICE,
we're like, we have to go from here to here. It's going to take forever. And they're like, you're going to be there in about 30 minutes.
And the Germans complain that sometimes the trains are a little bit late. And when they say late, it might be 30 seconds, 40 seconds. Late in Ireland is 15 minutes.
It's 15 minutes. I think we're a little bit more like that here, and I'll tell you why real quick. We were on a TV shoot in the Netherlands. We were in Holland, and we were filming over, of course, where windmills are, and it was for a travel TV series. So it was around maybe 7:20. We're wrapping up, packing up the cameras. I was the host, so I was wrapping up my bit. And we knew that there was another one of the city buses coming to the bus, depot there, the little bus station. And it was the end of the line where we were. And that bus was going to take us back to the center of Amsterdam, to where our hotel is. So we are packing up. We're knowing that it's getting close to 7:30, but we're running to the bus station, and you can see us running, and here comes the bus with this big woman in it, and she's determined. She's driving that Dutch bus, and she's coming down fast and determined. And we're there. We're literally just maybe, 10 feet away from the actual bus station. And because we weren't at the station exactly at 7:30,
Right.
she sees us. She sees us sweating and running, lunging. And we're just right there with a matter of feet. She pulls up, stops, and as we're just getting closer, starts the bus, whips it around the circle, takes off and leaves us there because we weren't
No
there
way.
exactly at 7:30.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
It's crazy, right? So we
It
had
is crazy,
Yeah.
man.
we had to make do, and crazy
So you didn't get
stuff.
to Amsterdam for your cookies.
I was going to say we made our way back to the hotel, but we had to call a cab or something. It was crazy.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, I know
tell you.
here in Ireland, the bus, you know, the bus service in Ireland is kind of weird because they would stop, and if I get the bus from where my home is here in Ireland to Dublin, you could literally stop the bus at every house and pick up people along the way if they wanted to. It depends on the bus driver. If he feels,
Yeah.
oh, there's somebody's waving at the bus, oh, well, stop, come up, come on, get in.
That's what you call, and this is full circle, a very homely bus driver.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
If you just joined us late, folks, rewind and watch it earlier so you know what we're talking about. This was amazing, gang. Truly enjoyed all the time with you. Thanks for spending this time with us. And you can share this, of course, on we'll be sending the actual link, and you can share it on your social media. But come back and see us again. As I always say, we're going to leave the porch light on for you. You're both welcome back to stop by the Jim Master Show anytime.
Thank you very much, Jim.
Spread the word about our show. You know, other folks you think like to pop on. And I hope you enjoyed the time with me as much as I absolutely have with you, Nigel, and you, Johnny.
Thank you so much, Jim, and I hope to meet you in person someday, man. You're really cool, and thanks for having me on the show. And hey to all your listeners, take care, guys. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Johnny. Nigel, it was
Jim,
great seeing you too.
Yeah, could I just say thanks to Pauline McDermott from Impact Promotions for making this happen and introducing me to you. So thank you so much, Pauline, and thank you very much, Jim, and all your viewers. Thank you.
Absolutely. Really, lots of Irish crack, my friends. We'll see you guys again soon, okay?
Take it easy, man.
All right. Johnny
Bye-bye.
Brady, thanks for being with us. And Nigel Connell, thanks for being with us, my friend, as well. We'll see you again soon.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Ciao.
All right. Was that not cool? Great guys, great experiences, great individual experiences, and of course, together with the new music that we were talking about. Now you know what we're talking about when we said waiting on the other side. Yes, on the other side of the big pond, but there's much more to the song, and you got to check it out. We really appreciate both joining us here on the show. They are incredible talents, singers, songwriters, musicians extraordinaire, and they've been doing this a long time. They have a real good time together performing. You can see the respect they have, the adulation they have for one another as well. And gang, if you enjoyed this episode, as we always say, of course, it's now archived on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Give this episode a like, click the like button, and we would love that. And subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, to see hundreds and hundreds of fabulous guests, celebrity guests, and friends from all over the world who've stopped by our show. Leave a comment in the comment section underneath the episode on our YouTube channel, and share this episode on your social media. We appreciate that. If this was your first time watching the Jim Masters Show, entertainment, lifestyle, celebrity talk show series, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you being here. Welcome to the JMS Lovity family, as we call it, with everybody watching around the world. And we thank all who have been watching and supporting, sharing, commenting, and liking. That means the world to us as well. Again, catch the album, the song at all the streaming platforms, iTunes, and all the rest, Apple iTunes, Spotify. It's all there for you. There's another look at the album again, the song, and it's waiting on the other side. And we thank the guys for joining us here. Two great guys who obviously appreciate life. They like to have a good time. They're very dedicated to what they do and super talented. Come see us again, everybody. I'm your host, Jim Masters, thanking you for your time this time. Till next time, right here on the Jim Masters Show live series. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, as we said. We'll keep the porch light on for you as well. Don't forget to love one another, take care of one another, and don't forget to take time for and love yourself. Very important to do that. For all of us here, be well. Thanks for joining us. I'll be right here waiting for you for the next episode of The Jim Masters Show. We love you all. Be well, and cheers.